So tell me, when you were thinking about sexual consent, like what were you thinking about? Like the blurred lines or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's strange. It's me actually talking with my nieces, and they're at the age now where they're figuring it out. They're like, early 20s and, going through all their experiences with relationship with themselves, with others, what that means. And it's very different now than what I remember it to be, obviously because of social media and different kind of like pressures today that just didn't exist when we were in our 20s. I mean, there are the universal ones, right? Of just the other sex and and work and like figuring out who you are and like all that kind of thing. And then also too having the baby and being like, asking myself as a new parent, well, how am I going to handle, and just trying to be prepared, looking ahead, how do you handle these topics and these questions? And you don't wait until they're old enough or whatever,
Right.
like what you start to learn as a parent is that you start these things very young, and they start to learn these things. So it's innate in them. And you, as they get older, then they learn, like, you have a no zone talk. And then as they get older, you go, oh, that's a stranger. This is a person. No, this is, you can touch me here. You can't touch me here, or whatever. You know what I mean? Those type of, but it graduates that conversation. So it's always just a part of how they think, and you develop them as a parent.
I was on a blog, and this woman, I don't know what her problem was, but she was like, I'm so sick of naming my son's parts a penis and my daughter's part a vagina.
Yeah.
I call them, cookies or, like little stuff. And a lot of women gave her backlash and was like, well, let me tell you a story. You don't say, you need to teach them what the anatomy is, because if sexual abuse does happen, and one woman had a story about how her friend of hers, she always would call her daughter's vagina a cookie, and she would go to the teacher and say, my uncle is licking my cookie. And she tried to reach out, this 5-year-old, and I think she was 4 or 5, and she was saying, my uncle licks my cookie. And the teacher was like, oh, he does? Oh, your cookie. Okay. Instead of what it really was, which was sexual abuse.
That's, so I'm part of a Mommy and Me, and that was one of the, Mommy and Me group. And in those groups, you talk about certain development places where your child is. It helps you. Parents also kind of support group thing. They're really great. Cool. And one of them was about that. And babies naturally will get curious about their anatomy, their parts. Little boys will start playing with their little penises. And, girls with vaginas or their thing. And they just, because they're like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah, I still do that sometimes.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah, okay.
And it's healthy. You should,
Yes, it's your body.
And so, but they tell you, you shouldn't, because predators often use names for those things. So if the child knows, no, this is my penis.
Yes.
You can't touch my penis. This is okay, not, and what's okay touch and not okay touch, like all those things, then they're educated in how they have their own self-autonomy. You're teaching them how to be in charge of their bodies as well, Right. And when you think about it that way, especially where a predator is involved, you go, oh my God, yes. Because how many people do you know that have had that? I mean, I think my lucky stars that I'd never been in a circumstance where that happened to me, could have, but I knew to be like, whoa.
Right.
And that was just an inherent thing. So
Thank God.